Alright guys, so last class you saw where I was having some glitches with the rig, and I was wondering if the software was buggy, which was worrying me because I've recommended this to you guys as a really good free software, and it definitely still is. Now that I discovered it was not a bug. um, if it was a bug, yeah, that would be a problem because it would mean you wouldn't be able to animate with this software the way that you want to. Anyway, let me show you the fix after this yang yang bike passes. So I'm going to choose the skeleton tool. So we see the skeleton is back, right? So let me show you what was happening. I'm going to recreate what was happening now that I understand it better. So when you are in the skeleton tool, you should just be able to click a shape and start moving it. Oh, let me go to, I have to change from build skeleton to animate. So I'm in animate mode, right? And you just move what you need to move, right? Now the thing is that each of these dots can be made an anchor. So if I go to inverse kinematic mode, you'll see here that there are two anchors set, right? And when there are two anchors set, the character is trying to figure out, okay, what do I do, or if you have more than one anchor set, right? Now right here I'm trying to move the thigh, right? And the thigh isn't moving, the calf is moving, and that is because I've set these two anchor points. If you set two anchor points, obviously something can't move because they're being tied, right? So what I discovered was if I right click and click reset pin center, it sets the anchor point to the middle, which is where it should be. That's where everything is coming from, so that's where everything should be anchored to. So now that I've set the pin to this, I can now click on any of these body parts, and move them. Let's go again. So you see me moving the forearm, and remember, with inverse kinematics, here's what inverse kinematic means. So a kinematic system, if I go to animate, this is a kinematic system, which what it means is that the parent controls the children, right? So if I move the parent, which is the arm, it moves the forearm and the lower arm, the hand, right? But even though it moves those together, it can't articulate them. And what I mean by articulate, meaning it doesn't affect the forearm's orientation. It only affects, the forearm being connected to it. So if I move the forearm here, the hand moves, but the upper arm doesn't move. And if I move the hand moves, the forearm doesn't move, the upper arm doesn't move. Same with the calf. Now, if I click on inverse kinematic, the reverse happens. And basically now, I shouldn't say the reverse, but somewhat. Because I can still move the parent and the forearm moves. But the good thing about this method is that if I move the forearm, the parent moves as well, right? Because the kinematics, or basically the physics of how these things work together, is reversed. Same thing with the hand. If I grab the hand, I can affect the forearm, which can be very useful when you want to animate quickly. Like if I want him to point, for example, I might want him to bend his arm first, and then I skip a few frames, and then I want him to push forward, and then that will, make that happen, as opposed to me just moving one piece at a time. So let me replicate the problem now, which we were having on Saturday, which was, quite embarrassing. Because I was very confused as to why it was behaving like that. Because the truth is, when I'm moving this thing around, I'm always just grabbing the parts, but because I was, clicking all over the place to show you guys things, I accidentally clicked on more than one thing. So I'm going to try and replicate it. See if I can replicate having more than one anchor point. And that's the thing, I don't even know how it happened, because as you can see here, I'm clicking and it's not creating more than one anchor point. let me try something else. All right, so I think we have several anchor points now. So let me see if I can. All right, so you see that? See what's happening? I've created several anchor points. So what ends up happening now is that the body moves instead of the calf, which is not what I want, right? I obviously can move the body on its own if I wanted to, so I shouldn't have this set up, right? And it's just that the rig is confused, right? The rig is looking and going, you know, where should I go? I don't know where to go, right? So it just finds the path of least resistance and goes that way, right? The one bad thing about this rig that I did was that the pier, because the pier is so round, you can't really access the hand around here. So, but anyway, the fact is that now you know what the problem is, and the thing is, trying to click off of these things, you know, just doesn't seem to work. Like I'm clicking shift and control doesn't work, right? Well, it worked there a while ago, but it doesn't work right now, right? Yeah, see, just shifting all over the place. So easiest thing is to just right click, come up, and then reset pin center, and we are now back to normal. All right, so you can get back to your rigging and animating. All right, guys.